Well, hello, hello, hello. It is time for eSeniors once again. Let me put my face up there. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. It's time for eSeniors, and today we have multi-class Le Mans Ultimate. So, wait a sec, I'm getting something in my face here. Hold on here. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Sorry, I'm just getting something done here. Today we have multi-class Le Mans Ultimate. There we go. Okay, I got something going on in my ear here. There, it's gone. Thank you. I had some feedback going on in my ear. Sorry for all that. So it is the first season of multi-class championship, and we are at Algarve in Portugal today, and it is the first race of the season. What's going on here? I'm still got something going on here. I know what to do here. There, I'm off. Okay, so there we go. You can see the season in the graphic there. Algarve, Bahrain, Sebring, Interlagos, Spa, Qatar, Fuji Classic, and a 1 hour Le Mans, which is not that much of an endurance race because these races are going to be 50 minutes long. So, long race. I was in it. This is a replay mode race, unfortunately, because that's the way, since I was racing today. Let me show you the standings, not the standings, but the qualification results. Hold on, let me see if I can find it here on my screen so I can read it. There we are. So in first place, again, multi-class in first place in the hypercar, a familiar name you all know, is Mr. Brian Murray. I'm just looking up here for the time, 1:32. Hang on, let me see if I can read it a little bit better here. Very difficult to read on one of my screens here. 1:32.6. So he's got about a 1 second lead over John Saunders in the Toyota. Brian Murray's in the Porsche. Next in third place is Michael McLean in another Toyota. He had 134.8. Woo, another second back. Bruce Hopkins in the Cadillac, 135.4, another second-ish. And last and least, in the Alpine, Mike Meleskie, that is me, 137.8. So that is our hypercar class. In the GT3 cars, Stephen Howells just howled today. He is in a Lexus. He had a 145.8, a whole second plus lead over Derek Bird in the Porsche, and Chris Bourne in third place in the GT3 class with 147.9. He was almost a second back from Derek. So lots of big differences in the podium there, but lower down, Nick, Neil Leader, Jean-Marie, they're all in the 148. So yeah, interesting. And of course, multi-class racing is very interesting also. So let me get us right to the start. And let me set this up. And here we get going. Make sure. Unfortunately, the overlays are not working again for the game. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to get something up here so I can see what's going on during the race. Let me hang on with me for 1 second. There we are. We are going to get going here. So this is the start of the race. Let's find the helicam. There's a helicam, or something similar anyway. There goes the green light. Is Brian Murray going to keep? Yes, he does. Look at that. He cuts off John Saunders. Everybody's through the first corner, it looks like. How about the GT3 class? There's Derek Bird, Nick Newcomb. Everybody's nice and clean through here. Let's see how John is going to get going here with Brian in the lead. There's the top 4 cars. Now, myself and who was it? Somebody was behind me. Might have been Aaron. Or Chris, I should say, and Aaron. We had to start from the pits. For some reason, the starts are a little different in LMU. Let's take a look at what John is looking at here. This is Brian Murray's first race really in hypercars. He's been practicing a bit, changed from GT3 that he's been doing in the preseason. And let's get overboard with Derek here to see what's going on in the GT3 class. Howells was really had a great qualification time there. Unfortunately, we don't have gaps in this replay mode. Hopefully they will fix that soon. There's a bunch of things that they didn't have going too well. So let's just see how it looks for, there's the hyper mode. There is Michael McLennan, who's in 4th place. Bruce Hopkins. Let me try to find the other camera here. There's Bruce Hopkins. John Saunders. Is he hanging in there against Brian? John is in the Toyota. Whereas Brian, oh, there we go. This is good. This is good. Let's hold on. Let's get on board with John. Let's just see how he can hang in there with Bruce, or Brian, I should say. Doing a good job hanging in there. Of course, in multi-class, I hear some beeping going on. Let me see if we've got some people on the chat here. Watching the action here, so for some reason I can't see the chat. Join the chat. There we go. Let me just get myself going in case there's some guys on the chat. You guys just watch what's going on, please. And I should be there any second. There we go. But I don't have a chat box for some reason. Did I screw that up and then for whatever reason I don't have the chat? Huh. Well, I can't see what you guys are talking about in the chat, so I'll just talk to myself. Looks like I'm looking back here now. Looks like Brian Murray's opened up a bit of a lead. Let's see how Derek is doing with Stephen Howell. I have no idea what the gaps are, so I'm just going to be going down the leaderboard here every once in a while. This is Nick Newcomb. He can see Derek. There is Neil Leader. People coming out of the pits, going into the pits. Now I had a bunch of stop and goes. That is Jean-Marie. Let's just go going here. Chris Bourne, Danielle Britos. And I'm going to do a stop and go. I had a really early stop and go. There's Aaron on Britos. And Mr. Jones. Get back up here with John Saunders. Let's look at it this way. Maybe I'll take a quick peek in the cabin. Let's see how far ahead Murray is. There is Murray. He's got a good lead there now. And Bruce can barely see John. So these hypercars have really spread out. I shouldn't say that. Michael McLennan's there. Let's just find out where we got some interesting battles here. Trying to find a battle. This is a battle right here. Chris Bourne and Jean-Marie. All right, there's a name we know and love, Mr. Chris Bourne. Yes, we had a lot of issues there. Some of us got stuck starting from the pits. Not sure why. The race start is a little strange if you miss the lap lining up. Anyway, I don't want to get into it, but then I went, whoa, Chris went just about hit the back end of Jean-Marie there. Now he's got some grip. Let's just see what he's going to do. Goes on the inside with that Lamborghini and a nice pass on Jean-Marie on a Ferrari. Nicely done. And I believe Danny Britos is not that far behind. Just take a peek here at what that's going on. No. Ooh, no, Danny's having some trouble. How is John doing on Mr. Murray? Not very well. Murray is pulling away. At Brian Murray, he can race with the phone book. So there's a whole. There we go. Hi, Frank. Oh, I got the chat now. Yeah, how do you like these hypercars? Pretty cool looking tracks, huh? Where were we? Who was Chris Bourne was trying to chase down Nick Newcomb. He just passed Jean-Marie. I believe we're going to see, if I'm not mistaken, from what I could hear in the race, not going to be too many battles here, so not sure we're going to stick with the whole broadcast. Derek had some, I believe it was Derek, had tons of problems with pit stops and drive-throughs. I went off quite wide. I'm trying to get a stop and go penalty finished or going, but it wouldn't let me. I went in and it gave me come back out and says you hadn't fulfilled it. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. There's Derek. Just for fun here, Derek and Steve are maintaining touch with each other. And yeah, I wish I had gaps here so I could follow what's going on, but you can't. All right, let's just see what's behind. Nick is quite a far behind Derek Newcomb. There's Chris Bourne. He was having a lot of trouble with that Lamborghini in terms. No, that was Derek Bird was not having too much fun. Jean-Marie is hanging in there with Derek. Oh, here we go. We got a little battle here. This is Aaron Shannon. And not that far behind is Neil Leader. So let's just watch this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Here we go. Let's watch Aaron on Danny Britos. All GT3 cars. Unfortunately, I don't have a track map. I'd love if I could have a track map because we're going to see hypercars pass these guys at many times during the race, 50-minute race. So these hypercars are a lot of fun. This multi-class racing is actually kind of fun. Even though I was lost in my class, I had a lot of fun making my way through the GT cars a number of times. But geez, look at this. Even Ed Jones, if that is the last guy there. Let's see if that is the last guy. Yes, he is. And behind him, yes. So they've got all four of these GT3 cars are right together. So let's just go to the leading part here. So Algarve, an interesting track in Portugal. It is, well, there we go. Here we go. Here we go. Is he going to make a pass? Stick. That is Aaron Shannon on Danny Britos. He's trying hard to get by. And of course, it looks like Neil Leader's catching up because looks like Britos is holding up this little parade a little bit. And Aaron can't get by him. How's it hanging, Frank? You hanging in there? I hope so. Let's get on board here with Aaron. He's having a hard time with that, getting by that, what is that car? That is a McLaren. He's trying to get by. It looks like he's drafting a little bit. He may get it done here. He may get it done here. No breaking points. Oh, look at this. We got a hypercar coming up. That is Brian Murray. He's already lapping the hypercars, the GT3 cars. So isn't that interesting? So it looks like Shannon gets by Britos, and Murray is being held back a little bit by these guys. There he goes. There's Brian. He's going to get by all these guys now. And where is John Saunders? He is trying to get through this little crowd. Ooh, almost hits Britos, I think. Let's watch how Darren looks for John there. John gets by them now. So this is what multi-class racing is all about, folks. This is what it's all about. So now we've got Shannon on who is Shannon ahead of? Oh, those are multi-class cars. So ahead of this little crowd now is Shannon. Britos is next. Ed Jones is behind Brito. So this stretched out slightly. Danny's trying to get Shannon past him, so I'm not sure he's going to make that go. In the back here, there's a hypercar going by Jean-Marie. So that is Murray, and here comes John Saunders. That was a nice pass. That was a good spot. Aaron's doing very well. Let's get back to the top here. There is Derek looking at Steve Howells. And let's just see if Brian is coming up on someone. He is. He's coming up on Chris Bourne. Let's just watch this pass, how he gets by him. He goes on the inside. That is going to work. And now let's go with John. There's John trying to get up on Chris. And he doesn't want to lose any time to Brian. That's a good inside move there. Just get some grip to get going. All right, let's get back to where everybody is. There is Derek on Howells. Where is Howells? There is Howells. That's a good 4 or 5 second lead there. Nick is... Now Murray is going to come up on Nick Newcomb. Let's watch how that happens. And look at that, John Saunders. He's watching all this. He can see, oh, they did a good job. Now he's got caught up because of that traffic with Brian Murray. Let's just see if he can make something happen here. This is the closest he's been since the start of the race. Yeah, you love the looks of the hypercars, eh, Frank? Yeah, they're quite cool. The inside view, like right now at the cockpit, is awesome too, isn't it? We're going to stick with this one. It's, we are about 12 minutes into the race, so not a bad little race going on. I've had a chance to go back to see what's going on in the leaderboard for GT3 cars. But let's just see how these guys get through the traffic this time. Maybe John will be able to catch up and do something on Brian because of traffic with the hypercars. Looks like Murray, is he going to get by this corner? No, he's not. That is going to let John come right up to... Oh, look at that, Brian. Oh, look at this. This is hypercar, or multi-class at its best. I love it. I love it. I also love it because I get to pass a lot of cars myself when I'm in hypercar. I'm terrible at the hypercars, but it is fun passing these GT3 cars. All right, that's it for... was that Derek? Is that everybody now that's got past? Yes, everybody. They've got, so the leader in the hypercars have passed everybody. So now let's see what's happening in GT3. There we're in with Steve, and that is Derek Bird. He can see Steven. Now, I believe there's Nick Newcomb. He can see Derek Bird. Chris Bourne, he can see Newcomb. Jean-Marie Groslo is a little bit further back. And Aaron Shannon is trying to chase him down. That is probably who that is up ahead of Aaron. So Aaron's really wants to catch up there. This is Ed Jones. He's got quite a gap to Shannon. Danny Britos is falling a little bit behind. And there is Neil Leader. Just for fun, let's see if I'm approaching anybody. Hard to see where I am on the track. Like I said, I had a number of stupid stop and goes, and they're not easy to actually do. It's not really a stop and go, actually. It holds you in the pit position for 12 seconds, and it's not obvious whether you're on the pit stop point or not. Now, another issue here was making it all the way through the 50-minute race with a full tank of fuel and virtual energy, as they call it. Let's just see how Derek's doing. Well, look at this. Bruce Hopkins is Who is that ahead? That is Derek Bird on Hopkins. Wow. Something happened to Bruce because Derek's right up on his tail now. Let's just hang in there. We missed it. Let's just go back a little bit to see what happened. Hang on. Just going to go back a little bit here. There's Derek. What happened? Not how, but let's just see what's going on here with Steve Howells. Did he get wrapped up with a hypercar? Who is that? That's Bruce Hopkins trying to get by him. Now I know, I'm trying to think of who was in the Mustang. Who was mentioning to us? We have to be careful on our hypercars. The GT3 cars are not able to be as nimble sometimes coming through, so we got to take a outside line on them sometimes. So you got to really give the GT3 cars the racing line. And sticking with Derek here because he caught Steve quite closely there a little bit a few seconds ago. Let's see if Steve were watching Howells, see if he had a little bit of a problem somewhere. Nice high-speed corners here at Algarve, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Well, no, well, let's just stick with Derek a little longer because while we're doing that, we'll just jump on with John Saunders a little bit. No, all right. No. Somehow Derek caught up to Steve. Here comes a hypercar in the rearview mirror there on Derek. Let's see who that is. That is... no, that's not... Can't tell who that hypercar is. Probably Bruce. It is Michael McLennan. There he goes. Past Derek. Now let's see if that means something happens with Howells because of this hypercar coming up on him. Let's just watch what happens here. Maybe Derek gets a draft from that hypercar. All right, the hypercar should make short work of Howells here on this part of the track. There goes up the hill. They fixed that jump. I used to jump. There is Derek. Okay, I don't know where he caught up with him. All right, where are we now? Let's just go through the guys. Well, let's just quickly see where Saunders is with respect to Murray. Oh, Murray's pulled way ahead. If he's pulled ahead or if there was a little issue with John. I go back to, there's some traffic up ahead for Murray. See how Murray gets through this one and see if John can make some gain. That is a hypercar up ahead. Let's see who that is. That is me. I am going to cause problems now. That's me locking up right there, going by a GT3 car. I believe I let these guys through very easily. Oh, that's John. See, let's just see Brian, see if I do a good job. Is Brian Britos? Oh, that wasn't me. I thought for some reason that was me. There is John. John's got to get through the GT3 car also. Let's see how he does. Who was that in behind? That's Bruce Hopkins. He just went off. All right, we missed John going by. Let's make sure we're not missing any action here. Well, we are. There is Derek. He is on top of Steve Howell, still maintaining his lead that Steve is. Let's just see if these guys are Chris Bourne. He can see Nick Newcomb. Jean-Marie. Whoa, Jean-Marie. Let's take a quick peek at that. Let's pause that. Go back a few seconds. And we'll go on this channel. Oh, let's go back a little bit more. So Jean-Marie is ahead. He is being chased by, I'm not sure who that is. Just an unforced error there. And I'm not sure why there's no name on the guy ahead. Let's just see. That is Aaron Shannon. He doesn't have his name up there. Jean-Marie and Ed Jones. That was for position. So these three guys are battling for position. And that is, whoops, sorry, Ed Jones, Jean-Marie, and Aaron Shannon all battling for position. So that's some good racing action here. Now someone had to pit for fuel. And well, not all that sure how pit stops works and whether you can get, I think you have to set them up live. So you got to do it while you're sitting in the pits starting the race. Now someone else was also complaining about the oh, look at that. Ed Jones is right on Jean-Marie's tail. Let's watch that one. I believe Ed Jones is in a Corvette. Let me take a quick peek here. Nope, he is in a Ferrari. Two Ferraris here. Gotta get the exact same livery. That should have been a hint. What was I talking about? Fuel, yeah. Fuel's not that obvious. You have to kind of do it with the HUD while you're sitting in the pits. Not all of us are aware of it. Okay, who have we got coming up behind these guys? That is a hypercar. I think it's McLennan. No, it's not. It's Bruce Hopkins. No, it's not. Must be me. Is that me? No. Is it Murray already? That's Murray already. Let's get on with John Saunders and see how he's going to get by these guys, because he doesn't want to lose touch with Murray. Murray up ahead is, these guys are battling for position. Oh, he goes off the track. Almost. And let's see if Brian got ahead. Yes, he did. Now Brian's got to get ahead of whoever that is. That's Shannon, I think. Not Brian, but John has to get ahead of Shannon. Yeah, that is Shannon. He's going to get through on the inside. I think Shannon knows he's there. Went a little wide for him. There we go. Let's get back to the battles here. That is Mr. Ed Jones trying to chase down Jean-Marie. All these guys are a little bit spread out a little bit now. Now Daniel Britos must have had a problem since he was up there in the hunt and now he's at the back. It could have been a drive-through. Again, track limits here. What happens is you get 4 points, 4 like driver points in the race. So every time you go over a track limit, you get assessed a penalty anywhere from 0.5 to 3 points. I went really wide on one and they got a 3-point track limit penalty. So like second lap, I ended up with a drive-through. That's how it works. Jeremy sets up the point level for the race. For some reason, I was all over the place in track on the race mode. So this is becoming, it's just 25 minutes into a 50-minute race, and Ed is giving it his all here to try to get back through Jean-Marie. Good job. Here comes a hypercar behind. That might be Mike McLennan. Let's try and find, oh, that's Bruce Hopkins coming through here. I love watching these hypercar guys figure out how to get by the GT3 cars, and these two GT3s are battling for position, so that makes it even more interesting because Ed's not going to give him any quarter here. That's the great way to do it. Get right on the inside fast. Nobody lost any time there. Now he's going to go around the outside. Yes, he's going to make that stick with a little bit of a hop there. And let's get on board with Jones. So nobody lost anything there. Nicely done. All three guys. So I think the trick is GT3 guys, just stay on your racing line and let the hypercar driver figure out how to get around you. Look at Ed is really getting on board with this. He is trying really hard. Two Ferraris so evenly matched, unless they had a setup difference. 6 people watching. Say hello. Frank's on. He's chatting. Let's go, guys. Oh, look at this. I think Ed Jones is going to make it happen here. Let's get on board. Look at that. Exactly the same livery. Got a great exit. He's got the corner now. He's got the corner. Yes, he does. Beautiful pass on the straight by Mr. Ed Jones. Great job there. He had the pace, obviously. Great pass. Great pass. All right, what's happening with John here? Can he see? Has he lost touch with Mr. Murray? Oh, Mr. Murray has pulled away. I can't even see him. There he is, way up there, I think. Yep. Now I know he had like a 6 or 7 second lead. Then he went whoa on the chat or on the voice chat, and so this is going to get better, I think, because he made a mistake and things got a little tighter. There's Michael McLennan trying to get by Neil Leader, who's in 8th place in the GT3 class. Let's just watch this happen. Right off. What happened there? Leader go off. He got a little bit too easy on there. Let's go through the GT3 class. In our lead is Mr. Steve Howells. 2nd place is Derek Bird, who just got passed by Murray again. In 3rd place is Nick Newcomb. Not that far behind is Chris Bourne. He cannot catch up with Nick. He's been about this kind of gap all the way through. We are 28 minutes into the 50-minute race. Probably more like 20 minutes. And I know Chris gets a drive-through later on. So there's Aaron Shannon. He can't see those guys, so that's a big gap. Ed Jones can't see Shannon. Jean-Marie can see Ed Jones up ahead, but that's McLennan. Let's watch McLennan get by Jones in the hypercar. Let us see this happen. And there he goes. So much speed, those hypercars. They get up there in the 305 kilometers per hour. That's getting close to F1 track speed. So that is Chris. That's Bruce going by Chris. And who is that ahead in the Mustang? Is that Nick? Yes, it was Nick. So Derek is looking right at... Oh, sorry. Nick is looking very close to Derek, isn't he? Oh, what's going on here? Oh, is it Chris? No, it's Chris and Nick who are close together. Well, here's the battle. Here is the battle. And that is, Nick was the one who was saying with this Mustang, he can't, like that's as far as he can go. Oh, that's one a little bit on the side of track limits. I don't think you get a penalty at that spot though. But Chris is definitely very close to Nick. That is Chris in the Lamborghini. He is on the edge. You can hear those tires. So Nick's got a rear view mirror full of Mr. Chris Bourne. Let's just show you what that looks like. I think this is the wing. Yeah, there it is. There's Chris. He is all over him. Oh, this is going to, look at this, right up on his bumper. He's drafting big time. Is he going to make it happen? He is not going to get it this time. Oh, he's going to try on the inside. He's going to try on the inside. That's not going to work either. Let's see how he's, wrong guy. Oh boy, this is quite the battle here. Quite the battle for 3rd place. This is a podium. This is a podium battle, guys. We are sticking with this. Because it looks like Chris in the Lamborghini has pace over the Mustang. Just has to find a good place to get by him. He's just holding back. Go on track level here. Here comes an important corner. If he gets a good exit here on the long, close to the long straight, it looked like that Lamborghini was out pacing the Mustang on the straight. So here it comes. There is the last corner for the straight. They're just flying over that corner, both cars taking the whole track. Let's see how the Lamborghini does. He's drafting at this point, right on his tail. Not going to make it happen this lap. Let's see what the braking points are like. Both about the same. The Mustang goes a little wide. The Lamborghini's got the inside corner. Oh, side by side. They touch a little bit. Little bit of a NASCAR push going on there. Now Chris is falling behind a little bit because of that. There he's going after it again. What a battle. Nice battle. Nice battle. Let's make sure we're not missing any other battles here. Oh, this is that is Bird showing. Bird is and that is Neil Leaders going into the pit. So that is Bird fulfilling a stop and go because of track limits, I guess. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Here we go. Another try by the Lamborghini. And now there's a hypercar coming up. That's Nick Newcomb or McLennan. Is that going to affect this little battle here? He's got to get by both of them. Here he comes. Oh, he's going around the outside. Chris is not going to let him by this time. He wants to maintain his position there with Nick, who's in second place. This is a battle for second, folks. Great job, Chris. McLennan's being very cautious here. I think he's waiting for the straight. Doesn't want to get involved with these two guys who are battling for podium positions in the GT3 class. Here we go. Nick will take on these guys right about now. There he goes. Past them all. Michael knows he's not in contention for anything, so he does not want to wreck these guys' race, because this race is something else. I didn't think there was that many interesting battles that went on in this race, but obviously there is. Wow. Chris had to correct a little bit there. To see the Lamborghini's got pace on certain parts of the track. He's taking a peek on the inside. He's trying real hard. Now somebody was having really bad link probably. There he is. He's right up on his tail again. Is he going to make it happen this time? Nice speed there. You have to lay off a little bit. And he lost a few feet because of that. They still haven't fixed that. Those cars look like they're flying off that hill. They didn't fix that yet. It's a little bit better than it was, it seems, but geez, Chris fell behind a little bit to the Mustang. We're probably about 32 minutes into this race. Tires are going to be an issue. I checked mine at the end of the race. I had 50% tires left. And let's get started. Take a quick peek up ahead here. There is John. Can he see Brian Murray? I don't think he can. Well, really big pass there on Jones. Can't tell what the gaps are, but let's just see if there is Brian in the distance. Michael McLennan, well, these guys are all spread out now. And Nick Newcomb on Steve Howells. Sorry, there's Howells. He cannot see Steve Howells, or the leader. But let's look at that in the rear view mirror. He's got a rear view mirror full of Chris Bourne's fuchsia Lamborghini. This has been going on for a long time. There is Chris. If he gets by Nick, oh, gonna try again. Is he gonna make it this time? Into this corner. Oh, not gonna make it happen. He can get the advantage on him. Oh, but look at this. Nick goes wide, and Chris is ahead now, I believe. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So finally a mistake by Nick. Lets Chris Bourne through. Now let's see if he truly does have more pace. The Mustang is hanging in there. Let's just look at Nick on board with the Mustang. There is the Mustang's cockpit, and that roar of the V8, Coyote naturally aspirated engine. Whew. Now, if you haven't seen this, I think it's on Prime. I believe it's Garage 56 or something in Le Mans. They let a prototype or a non-classed car drive Le Mans 24 hours. And this year, or no, 2023, I believe it was a Camaro, a NASCAR Camaro entered Le Mans. If you haven't seen that series, it's fun to watch. I just watched it yesterday. There goes someone there. That is Bruce Hopkins in the hypercar going by. He's going to make short work of Chris Bourne also. But look at that Lamborghini is pulling away from the Mustang now. Let's just watch a lap with the Mustang to see if he's got any advantage anywhere on this track. Doesn't look like it. Always interesting to see the differences in the manufacturers. Chris says he moved out of the way, but he wouldn't go past. Not sure where you're talking, which one you're talking about. So you're watching along, are you? I didn't see what you had a nice battle there with Nick for about 5 or 6 laps, didn't you? That was kind of fun to watch. Derek Bird's in 9th place. He was so pissed he could not get his stop and goes done properly. So he ended up going in twice, and I believe he had to go in for fuel also. So, oh my God, he had a horrible race. I'm going to have to practice pit stops. So here comes someone behind. That is John Saunders. No, yes it is. Just John Saunders coming by in the hypercar. Get on board with John for fun. Watch how he gets by Chris Bourne. Oh, hypercar when you're behind Nick. I see. I mean, that was McLennan. You tried letting him by, didn't you? But I think Michael just didn't want to get involved in your battle at all. So you're really pulling away from Nick now. You really did have much more better pace than him. So he did a great job holding you back for 4 or 5 laps. But the Lamborghini was way better than the Mustang in this case. Let's just see if anybody else is in the GT3 class can see anyone. That is Nick Newcomb. Brian going by them. That's Neil Leader. And I don't see anyone there. Let's see how John's doing with respect to Mr. Murray. We've got at least 20 minutes left in the race. I believe nobody is going to get too close, because that up ahead is a GT3 car, I believe. Oh, I can't tell. That is Danny Britos. So the leaders lapped. Whoa! John! What happened there? Let's take a quick peek back at that one. That is interesting. That is going to be affect his race. So he's following a GT3 car here. So probably, just gave it a little goose there on the entry to that corner. Probably distracted a little bit by the GT3 car. Wanted to get some traction on the inside and just hit the throttle a little too hard. Yeah, you did fine, Chris, with that Lamborghini. Second place is nothing to shake a stick at. Now let's just see where I am here. I picked the Alpine because it was easy to keep on the track, but I'm not sure it's got a lot of pace. Well, I don't have a lot of pace to begin with, but I sure do like the livery on that Alpine. Isn't that nice livery? I had fun. Like I said, I had fun lapping. I think I'm on the same lap now as the GT3 cars, at least. I think I got ahead of all the GT3s, even though I had 2 stop and goes, and they weren't very easily done stop and goes, or well done stop and goes. So I think somebody was saying the stop and go could, it holds you at the flag after you've stopped. It's not really a stop and then go. It holds you at the flag for a certain number of seconds, and I think the minimum's 12, because that's what I got, two 12s actually. But somebody else said you might get a longer one depending on your penalty severity. Anyway, it's fun. These games never really give you, these simulations never really give you much information on what it's all about, what the issues are for the game. You gotta rely on YouTubers or something like that. I wish they'd have a little bit more information out there from the developers as to what everything's all about. Well, let's just go down. I think everybody's got big gaps here, so just show everybody a little bit of each race. That is the Porsche of Mr. Brian Murray. He is leading the race. Let's just see the different angles here. See which one is nicer. There, that's a nice view. There's Brian lapping a Ferrari. I think that's Aaron Shannon. He's not showing in the with the little name board there. That is Brian Murray, and there's John Saunders in the Toyota. He is passing Mr. Bird. There's that John Saunders' livery. And Mr. Michael McLennan in another Toyota, same livery. Oh, that's a little bit different. So that's a Toyota. Bruce Hopkins is in a Corvette. I knew somebody had a Corvette. Let's just take a peek at that Corvette. There's a nice looking car. It's got those lights just like all the Cadillacs these days. The way those lights are in a vertical line. So there you have the Corvette. And in first place in the GT3 class, Mr. Stephen Howells in a Lexus. There we go. Now someone figured out how to do. See, he's got Derek Bird ahead of him, but that's now Derek's behind now. He's about to lap him. In the new release, it is possible to create a livery. Not simple to get it into the game. You have to submit it somewhere. So I'm not sure if LMU is going the evil way where there's going to be tokens associated with fungible tokens here. Oh, look at this. Let's see how I get by. Nope, that's Danny Britos I'm following. I thought that was me behind Stephen Howells. I'm behind Stephen in the standings, so I'm going to catch up with him sooner or later. Oh, almost lost it there. Let's go back to trackside. So we will watch Stephen. Let's see Chris Bourne's car. There is Chris in the Lamborghini. Pretty nice pink car there. Anyway, I'm going to have to take a quick peek at a YouTube video to see how we get the cars into liveries, I should say, into the game. There is the only Mustang, Mr. Nick Newcomb. That's the familiar stallion livery that all the Mustangs have in all the simulations. Aaron Shannon is in a Ferrari. There's an Italian motif to that livery. Ed Jones is also in a Ferrari. And that is Brian Murray lapping him. Jean-Marie Grollo and a third Ferrari. Danielle Britos in a Aston Martin, the only Aston Martin out there today. It's an interesting livery. And Neil Leader in the other Ferrari. That's a different livery from the other guys, a Richard Milne livery. So I don't think there's going to be much change in the race here, guys. So I'm not going to bother showing the whole race. Let's just zip through here to make sure nothing happens. Oh, Steve Howells Something that was me going by Steve. I thought I saw a change in the leaderboard. Wait a sec here. Where is... Oh, no, Derek's in last place there. Let's just see where Chris is with respect to Mr. Howells. Well, now Chris can't even see Steve. So Steve has just pulled... Oh, sorry, it's Nick Newcomb I'm looking for, isn't it? That's what I'm looking for. Can Nick see Chris Bourne? No. Nick cannot see Chris. So that gap has gotten pretty big. And Aaron, Shannon, nobody can see anybody. Oh, that... Maybe Jones is close to Aaron. Whoa, Saunders went right by. I don't even know if Jones saw him. Oh, it looks like Shannon's going into the pits. Somebody's going into the pits. Let's go back and see who that is. That is Danny Britos in the pits. So people had to start pitting because of fuel, I believe. So anyway, let's just mosey on along a little further here. See the end of the race. No changes in the leaderboard. Wait, Shannon. Oh, that's why Shannon dropped down. He had to go in the pits. Shannon's dropping down. And how much time left is Brian? Let's just watch Brian. It might be the checkered flag here. He's just flying by 275. Is he going to hit 300, 305, 310, 312, 312 maximum speed. Look at that. That is fast, folks. That is fast. So that is approaching F1 speed, isn't it? F1's in the 320s, isn't it? At least, if not more. Is Michael going to let him by here? Yes, right there. He lifts and lets Brian by. So this should be the final lap, I would think. If it's not, it'll be the second last lap. I want to see if the simulation gives a wave of the checkered flag. So that is our winners here in the first ever, excuse me, I'm yawning, first ever multi-class eSenior race. In first place, Mr. Brian Murray. That's a phrase I have said many times before. In second place, another phrase I've said, not necessarily in second, but John Saunders right up there with Brian in second place. In third place for Hypercars is Mr. Michael McLennan. In fourth place, Bruce Hopkins. In last but not least, or last and least, Mr. Mike Meleskie. In the GT3 class, let's just see if that was Brian's last lap here. Is he slowing down? Yes, he is. That was the last lap of the race, folks. Let's get on board with Steve Howells here. He just got by. I don't think this might be his last lap. Just follow him all the way through. So the winner in GT3 class is Stephen Howells in the Lexus. In second place, Chris Bourne. In third place, Nick Newcomb. So that is the first race of this series. It's a little bit out of sync with the ACC series because we delayed it by a couple of weeks because of the new release. But going to be a fun season. Hopefully a few other people will join. It is fun. And if you're watching and thinking about it, hey, go for it. All right, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for the guys on the stream. That's Chris and Frank Tennant, the two guys who announced themselves anyway. And I will be on, next week maybe I won't race next week. Let me see who the race is. Yeah, never mind. Let's just put that up here right now. I want to see what the next race is. Next race is Bahrain. I'm not a fan of Bahrain, so maybe I will try doing a live broadcast of this race with hopefully the overlays that broadcasting go. There is Chris going by the checkered flag. Doesn't show. They don't have a checkered flag animation on the simulation. Anyway, I probably will, if I'm around Friday next week, I will live broadcast it with the overlays so we can have a little bit better idea for the towers. But anyway, signing off with you guys for the week, and we'll see you all on track on tomorrow, and possibly I'll do the GT3 race on Sunday if I have something better to do. Bye for now.